Hello everybody, my name is Chris Martin, I'm the Operations Director at YouthNet. We are the UK's first wholly digital charity. We've been working for the past 17 years. We provide advice, information and support for young people aged 16 to 25. And we do it on a range of holistic topics, spread between work and study, sex and relationships, drugs, mental health, housing and work. And we do it through websites at site.org, engaging online communities, and most recently through mobile applications. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to demonstrate why a service strategy based on research and co-design, cycle of innovation, which is what we call at YouthNet, has been such a revolution in charity. And before we start, I'm very aware that in my world, which spans digital and charity, the word innovation has become something of a sort of dirty word. It's a very commonly used buzzword. It seems to be commonly appearing in people's job titles, where it seems quite an odd addition. And it's bandied around with the same frequency of a lot of traditional dinosaur words of business speak: strategy, best practice, scalability, transparency, and of course the glorious mathematical impossibility of getting 110%. But please be clear that for YouthNet, innovation is simply a very grand word to describe the business of making a lot out of very little. About 90% of the innovative work we do is about evolving existing products, and about 10% is ensuring that the new services that we build have the greatest impact for young people that we seek to support. This behind me is a diagram of our cycle of innovation. And earlier this year, YouthNet applied this process to a very serious issue, which was homelessness in young people. We knew that various external factors were coming together to create a perfect storm of homelessness for young people. And I'm sure they'll be familiar to a lot of people in this room. Changes to the welfare benefit system, lack of available housing stock, withdrawal of affordable mortgages, and a significantly more challenging job market. This, combined with intelligence from the thousands of young people we support through our discussion boards, live chat, and face-to-face services, led us to realise that we had to act. We began with some desk research, a review of current academic papers, newspaper reports, published research from the sector. Then we drew together a mixed group of experts in a series of sessions to address what we found. These were housing sector colleagues from Shelter, Paul, Centrepoint, and St Basil's in Birmingham. Colleagues from the third sector, like Get Connected, representatives from the academic sector, LSE, as well as people from the digital world, so the agencies Strand, Boo, Harriman Steel. A very broad church that would allow us to bring a huge range of expertise and insight onto a single issue. Most importantly, we spoke to groups of young people in London and Birmingham. And, like all good research projects, the first thing that we found out was that what we had thought was wrong. We thought that we would be creating some kind of service for a generation of young people who were sofa surfing for financial reasons. What we discovered was that the real cause of homelessness in young people was, in almost every instance, a catastrophic breakdown of relationships within the family home, driven by cultural differences, violence and abuse, bereavement, or the arrival of a new partner. This insight had an immediate effect on our work. We had been funded by the Nominate Trust to review the housing content on our primary website, the site, and as well as updating factual information about rent, mortgages, and so forth. Our editorial team also began looking at content and training resources around crisis resolution, which sat within our relationships section. We continued to explore these concepts through interviews and co-creation sessions with young people. And we discovered that the journey to homelessness was actually a three-stage process. The crisis at home would participate in a fluctuating journey in which young people bounced between home and sleeping on friends' sofas, home and hostels, home and rough sleeping. Throughout this period of slipping, a young person's mental well-being was slowly eroded, and with it their ability to bounce back. As they became close to homelessness, their shame and alienation left them isolated and powerless to take control of their situation. Now, our colleagues in the housing sector deliver amazing provision for young homeless people, and we saw this firsthand during our research. But despite seeing and recognising this journey, it was usually beyond their remit to be able to intervene at those early crucial stages. So for YouthNet, our cycle of innovation has delivered enviable results. We saw exactly where we would be able to create impactful digital services that didn't duplicate existing services, but would play to our strengths around the emotional well-being of young people and were ideally suited for early intervention. But insight without action is nothing. So we worked in our sessions with young people to create actionable concepts for these digital products. You can find details of all of the research and all of the insights that we found out on we have a dedicated website at homeless.youth.org. But I'd just like to highlight quickly 3 of the potential products that we came up with. You drive me crazy. We know homelessness in young people is often the result of family breakdown. In fact, 70% of 18 to 21-year-olds reported that family conflict was the reason for their referral to St Basil's Youth Hub in Birmingham. You Drive Me Crazy is an app that uses gaming to take the heat out of an argument. This app allows young people to vent their frustrations with a physical game to reduce the app's rage gauge. And after this cooling down period, young people are presented with a series of actions that allow them to restart the conversation. Sofa So Good. When young people are sofa surfing, they feel deeply ashamed. Crisis reported that most young people who found themselves homeless sought help from their friends first, and about 20% of those believe they outstayed their welcome. Sofa So Good helps young people to negotiate a safe place to stay by creating an informal contract between the owner of the sofa and the person who wants to sleep there. Weigh It Up. Many young people feel so trapped in their families that leaving home becomes the only way they can regain control. The 2008 Joseph Rowntree report showed that young people were unaware of the services and housing opportunities available to them. Weigh It Up is a theoretical pause button that allows young people to press stop before they walk out the door and to make an informed decision about their next steps by working through some basic questions, like do they have any money in their pocket? Where will they sleep if they don't go home tonight? Okay, that is about my time up. But I hope it's given you some brief insight into the power of this process. And I think probably what we're doing in a practical way echoes one of the things that Simon Paul has been talking about. As a charity, YouthNet always has to use its money wisely. And we need to ensure that we invest in digital projects that really meet genuine need in our users. And we believe this process ensures that we achieve just that.